Hi Yogi, and welcome to class. My name is Ivy and I'll be guiding you through the next 15 minutes of a gentle and restorative morning flow or morning yoga class. What we'll be doing is a combination of restorative poses and also some gentle dynamic movements just to wake up the body, allowing this opportunity to send awareness into the whole body and just get a sense of how we're doing and how we're feeling before we continue on with our day. If you have a block or a bolster, it'll be great for support. If not, you can also take a blanket or a pillow, and if you don't have any of that, you can also do it without. So whenever you're ready, just meet me on the mat. We'll start in seated actually, just for a few rounds of breath. So allow yourself to find a comfortable seat. So just take a moment here to ground down through the sit bones. You can always sit on top of something if that feels better, like a block or a bolster. And as you're grounding down, allowing the spine here to lengthen up towards the sky. As we begin to deepen the breath. And then as you're doing so, let's all take a deep inhalation together all the way down to the belly and all the way out. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. One final time, as deep as you can. Inhale, letting the air fill up the whole body. And exhale through the mouth, allowing yourself to soften. So then just gently lean forward, coming into a tabletop. So now we'll be having the hands underneath the shoulders and the hips over the knees. And continue to keep your eyes closed. So we're just going to move freely here. You might want to move through some cat and cows as we begin to arch the spine and round the spine. Allowing this movement to slowly match up to the breathing. On inhalation, we find the lift of the chest. And on the exhalation, we press through the hands to round. And if you've just woken up, this might feel a little bit awkward for the spine. But just notice that, observe that, and let it be that way. As we become more familiar with these shapes, we can slowly begin to add on. Maybe it feels good to bend the elbows as well to intensify the movement. Maybe beginning to draw circles here with the spine, allowing the spine to reach to one side and the other. Just having a feel or getting a feel of how your body is doing as we slowly begin to explore, creating this little dance with your whole self. And with your eyes closed, you can really focus on the sensations within you as we begin to connect our hands firmly down to the mat, creating a connection to the earth. If it feels good to move more back and forth, allow that to happen. A few wrist stretches if that feels good. Allowing your consciousness to flow into every corner of the body. Making sure that you're still breathing. To then finish off whatever you've started as we slowly meet back into that tabletop. From here, we're going to take an inhale to reach the right arm up towards the sky, turning the chest open towards the right. And then as you exhale, thread the needle, bring the right arm underneath the left, but without touching the floor, we're just going to hover off the mat. To then take an inhale, reach all the way back up towards the sky, lifting through the chest. And as we exhale, thread the needle again. Try to move slowly and consciously through the body. One final time here. Inhale as we lift up. Can you press through the left hand to create this lift in the right? So then exhale, thread the needle. This time we're going to stay all the way down on the right shoulder. Bringing it down to the mat, gently turning your head towards the left. And maybe you wish to stay here, or maybe we begin to walk the left fingertips over the head. And just allow your left shoulder to sink down, taking a few moments here. Gently sucking your belly in just for a little bit of support. And once you're in that shape, you can begin to settle in, relaxing even deeper through the shoulder. Sending your breath into the back of your body. As we then slowly release the shape, drawing the left hand back to the mat. Inhale as we reach the right arm all the way back up towards the sky, lifting through the heart. And then exhale, bring your right hand onto the mat. Before we continue to the other side, let's find a melting heart as we begin to walk the hands forward. From here, keeping your hips right over the knees, or roughly over the knees, we're going to slowly allow the chest to sink down towards the floor. Now, maybe you want to place something underneath the forehead here for a little bit of support. Or maybe you can allow the chest to reach down towards the mat, forehead comes to floor, or maybe chest to floor. Finding your variation of the shape. As we surrender the heart down into the mat, can you soften in through your arms, opening up the front body. You might want to bend the elbows if the shoulders they feel tight. Allowing your breath to still travel all the way down to the belly, all the way to the hips. You might feel a little bit of restriction, but try to breathe past that. So we take one final breath. To then slowly release, just find a child's pose for a few breaths, hips back to the heels, forehead comes to the mat, arms can come down alongside the body for a little more of a release, or maybe just keep them in front of you. Maybe wiggling your hips a little bit from side to side. So then slowly guide your way all the way back into a tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to come into that thread the needle on the other side. Once you're ready, inhale, the left arm reaches up towards the sky, turn the chest open. As you exhale, let's thread the needle. The shoulder is just hovering off the mat. 2 more of these. Inhale as we reach the heart up to the sky. And exhale as we thread the needle. Again, trying to move slowly and mindfully. Final time, inhale as we reach up, reaching the fingertips to the sky, but still connecting the right hand to the mat. To then exhale, thread the needle. This time we're going to stay all the way down on the left shoulder. Finding your variation again with the right hand. Maybe you want to walk the fingertips forward. As we begin to turn the right shoulder down towards the mat here to support the shoulder stretch of the left side. Still breathing into the body. Can you soften a little bit more through the left shoulder, allowing your breath to travel to the back of your shoulder blade and to wherever the sensation otherwise is occurring. So then slowly release again, bring the right hand back to the floor. Inhale, reaching the left arm to the sky for a little counter, turning the chest open. As we then exhale, bring the hand all the way down onto the mat. From here, making sure you're spreading your fingers wide, let's begin to just roll a little bit over the wrists, taking a few rounds of circles, maybe the opposite direction as well. To then make sure your toes are tucked under, pressing through your hands, making your arms a little bit longer. And then as you inhale, lift your hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. In this downward dog, find movement again as we just gentle paddle out the feet. Finding space in between your shoulder blades by rolling your armpits in towards center. And can you breathe all the way to the back of your legs? As we from here look in between the hands, slowly and with control, stepping your feet to the top of the mat, and just take your time. There's really no rush here to reach the top. As we at the top, find a forward fold, allowing your whole body to just sink down towards the mat. You might want to rock a little bit from side to side if that feels good. You can grab the opposite elbow or just keep your hands wherever you want them to be. Soften through your neck, through your shoulders. Maybe you want to find a little bit of a bend in the knees and then lift the hips all the way back up. And then from here, we're going to slowly roll all the way up to standing. Let's use 2 or 3 breaths to reach the top. A gentle bend in your knees as we slowly roll the vertebrae all the way up to standing. Notice how this feels through the spine, letting the head be heavy all the way up. And once we are up, just roll your shoulders back and down. Arms relaxing down by your side. As we feel the connection our feet they have to the ground, press them firmly down to lift up through the crown of your head. Now we're going to come all the way back down into a forward fold just as we came up, starting by tucking your chin in towards the chest. Letting the head be heavy as we slowly begin to roll the spine all the way down. The crown of the head is reaching down towards the mat. And just as slow, or maybe even slower as before, you might reach a position where you want to bend your knees, then allow that to happen. The shoulders, arms completely heavy, and feel how this feels. Slowly wake up the spine and create space within the spine. And once you're all the way down, allow yourself to be heavy. We're then going to bring the feet out mat with distance. Turning the toes slightly more out, the heels are pointing in. As we then bend the knees and sink the hips down, coming into a yogi squat. In this squat, you can bring your palms together in front of your heart. As the elbows, they come to the inside of the knees, or you can just have your fingertips on the floor. Closing your eyes, as we just find a little bit of stillness here. You can stay completely static and just hold into this shape, or if you prefer to add in a little bit of movement and gently sway from side to side. Awareness stays in the hips and the knees, making sure they feel okay. If it's too much, you can always lift your heels and place the fingertips to the floor. So we take a final inhale here in your shape. So then slowly guide your hips all the way down to the floor. As we bring the legs out to the side, coming into a straddle shape. I'm just going to turn around so you can see what we're doing. We're going to bring the feet further apart from each other. You might want to roll yourself just a little more forward here to create space through the hips. And if it feels really uncomfortable to sit upright, you can always sit on top of something to bring a little more height. Starting by just flexing into the feet, we're going to begin to walk the hands a little more forward. Now, instead of coming all the way down to your depth, just come down where you find it somewhat comfortable, a little bit of sensation in the body, but should be breathable. And then either just staying here in the middle or slowly begin to move your body from side to side, creating this wave-like movement or this swaying-like movement. This helps to create even more space within you. And you're welcome to continue this movement, or if you feel a little more like softening into the shape, allow that to happen as we soften down towards the floor. Here, if you do have a bolster, you can take the bolster and place it underneath the chest. By flexing into the feet, we help to protect the knee because then you're engaging through the muscles. If the knees and the back of the knees or the knee creases, it feels all right, you can always relax through the feet as well, completely restore into the shape. as we allow the breath here to travel down to the inner thighs. Maybe creating a little more length in the spine if that feels good. And using each exhalation to just soften into the body. Allowing your consciousness to flow into every corner of yourself. Maybe giving yourself a little scan. How are you feeling right now? As we then take an inhale to slowly rise all the way up to seated, taking your time to reach center. And then from here, we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. The knees are reaching out towards the side. And here we're going to use that bolster or the pillow or the blanket, placing it back behind us or a block for that sake. If you're using a blanket, then fold your blanket or roll your blanket up and then place it between the shoulder blades. And then from here, I'm just going to let the spine reach down onto the bolster to support us as the arms reaches down by the side or out to the side. If you prefer to have your legs straight here, that's also completely fine. Completely surrendering to gravity as we open up the heart. Opening the chest, the shoulders, the front of the shoulders. And as we create space within the heart, we allow an opportunity to stay more open towards what awaits us. As we allow this space to just be spacious. There's no need to fill it up with a bunch of new things just yet. And you're welcome to stay here for as long as you need. If you have some more time, then maybe stay here for a few more minutes. Otherwise, we're just going to slowly roll to one side, taking your time to reach the floor. So then slowly press yourself all the way up to seated. Once you're up seated, just bring yourself into a comfortable seat for just the final few breaths. If you're still laying down, then take your few breaths there. As we take a deep inhalation and exhalation. Taking a moment to reflect upon how you wish to approach the world from here on. And I thank you all so much for allowing me to guide you through the practice today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you here again sometime soon. Thank you. Namaste.